What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, XRP's price continues the move that we've been talking about for the last few days, leaving a lot of XRP investors wondering, is this time actually different? You know, XRP's had so many moments recently where it's pumped and fell and pumped and fell and pumped and fell, and people have just kind of given up. They've lost a little bit of hope, and what I want to do today is talk about the reason why I do believe this time is different from a technical perspective, okay? There are many signs and many implications that show this is not normal for XRP, and I'll explain all that shortly. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade a little XRP yourself on up to 50x leverage without needing the KYC, or even use the VPN to sign up and start trading, you can use that Margex link down below. Guys, this is where I do the vast majority of all of my trading, and they're going to give you up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards when you do sign up, specifically with my link to Margex down below. So feel free to go check that out. There's a ton of different collateral options, a bunch of different trading options. I trade here every single day. So again, feel free to go check that out down below. Now, looking at XRP's price, okay, let's first talk about what has happened over the recent, what is this? I mean, realistically, this is like 2 years, realistically, right? So what people are referring to, what you're going to see is a lot of people say, well, that's what XRP does. It pumps and it dumps and it pumps and it dumps and it pumps and it dumps. And you can see that in its chart, right? Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, all over the place. It's just what it does, right? Especially after this, right? When everything happened when the SEC and it absolutely sent all the way back up towards $1, basically hits $1 and immediately gets rejected right back to where it was. People just lost faith. A lot of people lost hope and confidence that XRP was going to be capable of ever making a move, because it seems like people just sell off the moment that this happens. Now, let me first, before I talk about the technical reasons why this is different and what we're seeing right now is different, let me talk to you about something fundamental. Fundamentally, the market's in a much different place. And that's something that you have to remember. A lot of the people who had been investing in the XRP had been investing into, crypto for a very long time. And so because of that, obviously, whenever we were in the middle of a bear market, right after the FTX crash and all of these things, right, and these little terrible moments that we had, people, when they saw these immediate pushes to the upside where XRP was trying to gain momentum, of course they were going to take profits. It's just what happened. These are people who were likely dollar cost averaging in, who bought this thing at some of these lower levels anyway. And in the moment that this thing makes a move, they get out. They also, you have to think about this situation. This was a major buy the rumor, sell the news event. Basically, everyone knew that that XRP was going to win this case against the SEC. And so sure, we got a bit of a pump off of it, but of course it's going to be followed by a dump, considering the fact that it's, again, everyone knew, and we're in the middle of a bear market still at this given point. So no, there's no way it's going to be sustainable. People wanted their liquidity out of the market, and quite frankly, XRP had been sideways and boring for so long, no one cared anymore. And so when you mix all of those things together from a fundamental perspective, of course, in those moments where this thing starts to pump and where the market starts getting excited, you're going to see these pullbacks, especially in 2022 and 2023. Now, 2024 was a bit of a different story, though. I definitely did not like what we saw right here. I'm not even going to pretend. I did not like this. The fact that the market was pumping, we started to see things going good, and XRP was following suit, but literally barely moving. And it didn't capitalize on the gains, but it did capitalize on the losses. So it fell with the market, but didn't pump with the market. I didn't like that. And so this is the one exception I will make to the fact that, generally speaking, this market fundamentally was not in a good spot, and XRP itself was not in a good spot. And so because of that, fundamentally, I believe with the market in a much better spot right now, from a legal perspective, everything happening with the SEC, everything happening with these different cryptos that are moving from more of a utility perspective, such as ADA Cardano and things like that, obviously the landscape for XRP is in a much, much better place, obviously allowing for it to move better. Now, one thing that you can see is that from a grand scheme of things, a lot of these pumps that we saw, this is already longer, right? XRP's already been pumping longer than those ones. You can see XRP from point A to point B has been pumping for nearly 2 weeks now, which is unusual. Usually these pumps only last anywhere from 6 to 9 days. 9 days here, 9 days there, about a little bit longer there, 1 day there, 9 days there, right? You don't usually see XRP being able to push this far into these moves, especially considering the fact that we've now gone into the weekend and we have seen Bitcoin's price slow down a little bit. So when you mix all these things together from a fundamental perspective, this time does look different. Now, from a technical perspective, what you can quite obviously see is that this is a bit of an outlier, okay? What we can see is that whenever all of those little pumps and dumps and pumps and dumps and pumps and dumps were happening, there were micro moves and a macro move. What I mean by that is, we were seeing XRP trending upwards with these little micro moves creating this general uptrend, which is the macro move. Even the same thing right here, the micro moves creating the macro moves. And as you can see, those little micro moves ended up creating macro bullish structure, right? Cup and handle pattern, double bottom, cup and handle pattern, a bunch of different structures being formed by these micro moves, these big pumps and dumps, right? Whereas right now what you're seeing is this move being a macro move breaking out of a macro structure. So instead of it being a micro move forming macro structure, this is a macro move breaking macro structure. And there's a clear difference there. It is a defining difference that says that in a situation like this, although it's not a guarantee, this is an opportunity for it to be different for XRP. Because quite frankly, yes, it is true that XRP's price could just come all the way back down to 58 cents. And I'm not going to say I just give up at that point, but it definitely would be extremely disheartening, because if there has been any moment in the last 2 years for XRP to finally get back on track, this is the moment. And if this is not the moment, that's not going to be good. Now, from a technical perspective as well, there are some other reasons as to why this could be that moment. The primary driving factor, in my opinion, though, isn't just the fact that we have these macro bullish structures, but also the fact that now we've made this move to the upside. And since we were getting all that chop, the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs, there's a ton of liquidity below us. We have the previous points of resistance there, the previous points of resistance there, the one there, the one there, and the one there. And so what you can see is that if we do see XRP's price starting to work itself back to the downside, there's so many previous points of resistance and liquidity that could force XRP's price to reverse to the upside. That could start bouncing into the upside and give us more of a sustainable move upwards. Because the goal here for XRP isn't to just go straight up. I'm not betting that that's going to happen. But the goal is to actually continue a macro move upwards, to make higher highs and make higher lows and work itself upwards like it was not able to do here. And so what I'm looking at for XRP right now is a world in which, look, we broke to the upside. We're in a macro 618 to 786 zone. The fundamental landscape of crypto is in a much better place. It has all of this resistance down below us. We have breakout targets all the way to the upside. We have Fibonacci extension levels set at $3.43. And when you mix all these things together, this could be the moment for XRP. And so all it needs to do now, remember, our primary goal for XRP right now is to break $1.32. If it breaks $1.32, it opens up the door for the Fibonacci extensions, which puts XRP pushing to $3.43 next. And so with that in mind, I will continue to update you more on a shorter term time perspective as to what is happening here. But I really wanted to talk about why I do believe that this time is different and what it could of course imply for XRP. Now guys, please don't forget, if you do enjoy the content and you do want even more content from me for just as little as $1 a month, you can join the private community down below. I go in there, I answer questions as often as possible, talk to the chat, do all that good stuff. And for $5 a month, you can join in to get extra insight and extra access, which will get you access to my thoughts, my posts, news, things like that, daily fundamental analysis, daily technical analysis. I'm working today on some crash courses for newer people to crypto. So there's a bunch of good stuff down there for you. And again, you can join for as little as $1 a month, so feel free to go check that out. And lastly, guys, don't forget, if you do want to start trading some XRP yourself, check out that Margex link down below if you want to be able to trade it on up to 50x leverage without needing to KYC or without even needing to use a VPN to sign up and get started. And so with that said, feel free to go check all that stuff out down below. Watch XRP very closely, and over the coming days, I will give you better updates in the short term as to what I'm seeing, expecting, and more. And so with that said, of course, I hope you guys enjoy, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.